Hey everybody, it's Glenn, back in this video with the Marvel Legends War Machine and Iron Man Mark 27 2-pack. It's said to be an exclusive at Target in the US, but regular watchers will know from having seen me unbox my order a couple of videos back that I ordered mine from Kapow Toys. As I said in my review of Namor, I was taken by his packaging side art, yet here with both of these it's just pictures of the actual action figures. Then on the reverse of the packaging they each get a brief bio with War Machine's reading, "War Machine is ready for action with his battle baton and the best in Stark technology." Then Iron Man Mark 27 with the nickname Disco Armor has piqued much curiosity. Well, Michael, the bio explains it as Iron Man enters stealth mode with the camouflaging capabilities of the Mark 27 armor. And allow me to explain more. Well, Barry, it's not comic or cartoon based, it is in fact movie based. As for your question as to what the designer was on when he came up with it, well, it is nicknamed Disco, so I would guess cocaine, as that was a popular drug in the 70s disco era, and judging by the way they dressed, they were on a lot of it. Seriously though, this is one of the armors that rocked up for the finale of the last Iron Man movie as part of the house party protocol. Luckily, as spouted on the packaging back, it is able to change colour and camouflage, yet that doesn't explain why it has to be bright orange and purple to begin with. The brightness of the colours, I assume, being how it earned its disco nickname. Now, of all the armours from the Iron Legion they could have chosen, this wouldn't have been at the top of my list, yet if Hasbro were hell-bent on a colourful deco, I wish they'd have opted for the hot rod armor. Those flames are cool, no? Maybe they settled on this one though, as it is the brightest, and so dear old grandmas doing their shopping at Target can see it through their cataracts and be like, "That's that metal man that our Johnny is always talking about from those Revengers movies. That's going straight in my basket." While its deco is certainly unique, the action figure itself isn't, as it may be familiar to you as the movie War Machine from the Hulkbuster Bathwave. The origins of which go back further still to the Iron Patriot from the Iron Man 2 Ironmonger Bathwave. So I won't take up time going over its articulation, yet if you are at all curious you can click this card to see my review of that Hulkbuster Bath War Machine. Same posability, but just imagine it being in bright orange and purple. Now, Disco Armor Iron Man is an acquired taste, yet I imagine many people will be pleased to tick another box off on the long list of various Iron Man action figure armors. For me, I'm frankly surprised we have a movie Disco Armor Iron Man figure before, you know, a movie Vision action figure, but then I understand that this cheap redeco allows Hasbro to budget for the War Machine it comes with. Because as you can see, compared to the previous version of the movie War Machine, this is an entirely new sculpt, making him appear much bulkier. And as such, that makes him a good companion piece with the Iron Man Mark 46 from the Giant Man Bathwave, which is just as well, as this is Tony and Rhodey, both in their Civil War armors. But whereas when I reviewed that Iron Man, I said I felt like for the first time we were getting an appropriately scaled man wearing a suit of armor, yet with War Machine I feel like it maybe takes that a little step too far and is beginning to look really quite clunky, especially in the upper torso. It's looking like American football armor. Do they call that armor? That said, I still do prefer this over the previous version, and next time I watch Civil War I'll have to keep a lookout to see if this is appropriately scaled to how he appears in the movie. As for the deco, there are some nice metallic silver accents, but the base dark grey, it does look quite flat and not especially metallic. But then the deco has some nice attention to detail, such as on the shoulder armour there, that's rendered quite crisply, and his arc reactor and eyes are painted in a way that's really quite effective for a glowing energy effect. Now, the hawk-eyed among you may have noticed that his shoulder cannon there is without the deco that we see on the packaging back, but beyond that it is articulated, so it hinges up and down and then it also swivels side to side, but that articulation is really quite loose, as is how the cannon pegs into the shoulder itself. How loose, you ask? This loose. Basically, if you have a dark carpet and you drop it, you're never seeing it again. I'll just plug it in and break out this second accessory, which as we compare it, you can see it has the same sculpt and it pegs into the same port, so it is essentially that same cannon yet appearing to be stored away. And we'll see actually how tight that is. Oh, it's not as loose. And I'll pick him back up to show you that he has a second peg hole on his right shoulder, which is actually a larger hole than the one on his left shoulder. And this is where the battle baton that the packaging back trumpeted comes in, as this can be stored in that peg hole. And again, alas, that's sitting in there pretty darn loose. Now this battle baton is where I need to see Civil War again, because the action sequence in which War Machine uses it, I was actually watching it through tears of joy. I was crying because my brain couldn't comprehend how awesome it was. So I'm improvising to say it pegs in there, as I in fact only became aware of War Machine having it once the baton was in his hand, but I assume he reached up and grabbed it. Or maybe not. Someone who watched Civil War without having to wipe away tears, let me know in the comments below. Here's a closer look at the full baton. The red is supposed to be glowing energy, so I think it would have been more effective had they molded it from translucent red plastic and then painted the dark grey part, and not vice versa in molding it in dark grey plastic then painting the red part. Anyway, here he is, baton in hand, ready to shout "Traitor!" and charge at Finn. Oh, sorry, wrong Disney movie. Then he comes with these parts. I don't know. These seem to fit onto the outside of his hips like thus. Then these same parts can also be pegged into the underside of his forearm. Now, unless someone slipped some roofies into my popcorn, come to think of it, my popcorn was extra crunchy. I have no memory of these whatsoever from watching the movie. They also have a hinged part. Is that a magazine? They're guns, I suppose. Then finally he comes with these interchangeable clenched fists. Because you know, when battle batons and shoulder cannons and odd hip come forearm guns fail, a punch to the face always works. Now looking at articulation, and his head does rotate side to side, he is able to look down quite far actually, and then up not so much. Hang on, he can look up further than that, can't he? Oh, no, he can't. Actually, while his head is off, that will allow me to address a number of questions with one fell swoop. That being, does the unmasked head from the previous version fit this one? Well, yes, it fits. Well, about as well as most of his accessories do. Anyway, back to articulation. His shoulder armor pieces are hinged, so while they do inhibit some of the arm articulation at the shoulder, they don't inhibit as much as you might think, so he's able to reach up this far. Then he has upper arm rotation and a double jointed elbow. At the wrist, his hands, both sets, do rotate, and they're also both sets are hinged, moving up, but then the sculpt there that overhangs the top of the hand prevents the hand from hinging in the opposite direction. He has no waist rotation, but in lieu of that he has a rotating diaphragm joint, yet this doesn't really seem to crunch very far forwards or very far back. At the hips, his legs don't move out to the side very far at all, and then they move this far forward and only move the tiniest bit back. There is upper leg rotation, and then there is a double jointed knee, and then his feet, oh. So yeah, as you can see, his feet are on a ball joint at the ankle, and the feet do pivot around that ball somewhat. Actually, with some finagling of the feet, this is his widest stance possible, still with both feet flat on the floor, and that's actually his hip articulation that's inhibiting a wider stance, not an ankle pivot. So all things considered, and I think a majority of people will be buying this 2-pack for the War Machine, but hey, you get a funky coloured bonus Iron Man with it. Party! Is the War Machine perfect? Probably not, but in my opinion it is better than the previous version. Am I wrong? If I am, I'm sure you'll let me know in the comments below. Anyway, click this video if you missed my review of the Walgreens exclusive Namor, addressing some comments raised in that video, and unfortunately we are unlikely to get a Namor movie, as he is one of those characters Marvel sold the movie rights for a handful of beads and half a pound of salt. But if they did make a movie, at that guy Dawson on Twitter, yeah, I'm on Twitter people, give me a follow bitches. Well, he shared this picture likening the Namor figure to Charlie Sheen. Could he be a silver screen Namor? You know, I don't really go in for meeting famous people at cons and whatnot, but I have met Amazing Kong, formerly Karma in the WWE. Hey everybody, this is Glenn and I'm with... Yes.
Oh, amazing, huh?
Oh, and I actually used to work for Buckingham Palace and I've met the Queen. Yeah, she's probably more famous than former WWE star Karma. And yes, I'll be opening a PO box shortly. I'll let you all know when it's up and running, and I hope to see you all next time. Bye.